O'Malley vs. Marlon Vera just went down in the main event of UFC 299, and O'Malley showed up ready to dominate. From start to finish, it was O'Malley controlling the octagon. Let's talk about that moment at the end of round 5 when Vera fans claimed O'Malley got saved by the bell. Come on, let's call it what it is. A whole bunch of cope. O'Malley didn't even need to be in that exchange when he got hit with that liver shot if he didn't know there were just 5 seconds left on the clock. He was calculated, he was strategic, and he was in control. Throughout the fight for a whopping 24 minutes and 50 seconds, O'Malley proved why he's technically undefeated. Sure, some might bring up the Peter Yan decision, but let's be real. O'Malley showed levels above Marlon Vera in striking. He was doubling, tripling Vera on strikes, and those strikes they're giving Vera credit for, let's just say they were pretty generous. O'Malley was schooling him, picking him apart with precision. Now, I might be gushing over O'Malley here, but can you blame me? This was one of the most impressive title fight performances of all time. People talk about Garbrandt versus Cruz, but O'Malley's performance, it was on another level. He wasn't just knocking Vera off balance a few times, he was dominating every single round. Let's talk technique. O'Malley was scoring on Vera without even relying on low kicks. Round 1, he was chewing up Vera's legs, then he switched it up, body kicks, spinning back kicks, jabs, you name it. Vera was just standing there, waiting to be hit while O'Malley showcased his striking prowess. And let's address the elephant in the room. Vera's first win over O'Malley. Total fluke. That perennial nerve kick? 1 in 1,000. Even with one leg, O'Malley was outboxing Vera. This time around, O'Malley shut down that chapter with authority. In conclusion, O'Malley's performance at UFC 299 was nothing short of legendary. He proved why he's considered one of the most aesthetically pleasing strikers in the UFC today. Sandhagen and Vera, they pale in comparison to the striking mastery displayed by O'Malley. So let's give credit where credit is due. O'Malley put on a clinic, and it was a sight to behold. O'Malley literally passed him for 5 rounds with some of the nastiest combinations we've ever seen at a championship UFC level. I'm not exaggerating when I say what I witnessed was insane. Picture this. Jab, jab, making Vera's guard come down, body shot, separate to the body, low kick, spinning back kick to the body. O'Malley had Vera hurt in round 2, and let's talk about that knee in round 2. It was like thunder cracking. O'Malley cracked Vera right on the chin with it, and even though Vera kept a high and tight guard, O'Malley found his opening and took it. It's the cleanest knee straight to the chin you've ever seen. Yet Vera still took the shot. That's the kind of wicked performance we're talking about here. But it wasn't just about power, it was about technique too. In round 4, O'Malley did something straight out of a martial arts movie. Vera throws a body kick and O'Malley parries it with his lead hand, catching it with the backside of his hand, and then spins back, kicks Vera in the body. It's inventing stuff in the heat of the moment, and O'Malley pulled it off flawlessly. And let's talk about endurance. O'Malley's cardio was insane. He took some solid shots from Vera, and while they rocked him a bit, they didn't even come close to knocking him out. O'Malley's ability to take those shots while still dishing out punishment of his own was nothing short of impressive. And let's settle the debate once and for all. O'Malley is levels above Marlon Vera. That first fight, total fluke. Vera pulled off a 1 in 1,000 move, but O'Malley proved that the majority of times, he's the superior fighter. The fact that he did it without relying heavily on low kicks is mind-blowing. He checked Vera's low kicks, blocked his head kicks, and maintained control of the center of the octagon throughout the fight. This wasn't just a win for O'Malley, it was a statement. He showed the world why he's considered one of the most elite strikers in the UFC. And as for Vera, well, maybe O'Malley did a number on his chin. We've never seen visible damage on Vera before, but after this fight, things might be different. Regardless, O'Malley's performance was nothing short of legendary. Marlon Vera's face, I'm telling you, that's a broken orbital, maybe even a broken cheekbone. The way it's swollen up, it's not looking good for Vera. O'Malley even mentioned feeling something crack when he hit Vera in the face, so it's not surprising that Vera ended up with some significant damage. Round 5 seemed to be particularly tough for Vera, with O'Malley wobbling him at times. But let's talk about the scoring. Giving round 5 a 10-8 in O'Malley's favor? Come on, that's a pre-written scorecard if I've ever seen one. But let's get back to O'Malley's performance. He was literally scoring Vera with some of the nastiest combinations we've seen at a championship UFC level. From jabs to body shots to spinning back kicks, O'Malley was showcasing his striking mastery. Round 2 was a standout moment, with O'Malley landing a thunderous knee right on Vera's chin. Even though Vera kept a high ground, O'Malley found his opening and took it. It was a move straight out of a martial arts movie, and O'Malley executed it flawlessly. And let's talk about the mental game. There seemed to be some dirt O'Malley had on Vera, something that got under Vera's skin and made him stop talking trash. It's unclear what exactly went down, but whatever it was, it clearly affected Vera's confidence. But regardless of the pre-fight drama, O'Malley's performance in the octagon was nothing short of spectacular. He humiliated Vera in front of everyone, shutting down all the trash talk and proving once and for all that he's levels above Vera in striking. Even with a broken foot from kicking Vera's Ecuadorian titanium bones, O'Malley still dominated the fight. Now, as for what's next, O'Malley is calling out Ilia Topuria, and there's talk of him getting a shot at the title.
Dana, give me a jet to Spain, baby. I'm coming for Ilia Topuria. And if he doesn't want it, I want Ilia, baby. Give me Ilia.
But let's not forget Merab Dvalishvili. Although the UFC doesn't show him on camera during O'Malley's post-fight speech, it doesn't necessarily mean they're not interested in that matchup. But regardless of who's next, one thing's for sure, O'Malley's performance at UFC 299 was absolutely insane. DC and John Anik were rightfully praising O'Malley on the mic, and his performance deserved every bit of it. They were discussing potential matchups, and there's talk about O'Malley wanting to go up against Ilia Topuria. Now let's be honest, that annoys me a bit, but I'll get to that in a second. During the commentary, Joe Rogan even mentioned something that got me excited. He said that he would go to Spain if they were going there for O'Malley's fight. Now let me tell you, Joe Rogan doesn't just leave the US for any pay-per-view event. The fact that he mentioned going to Spain for O'Malley's fight is a big deal. It's a sign that the UFC might be considering it, especially since Joe Rogan wouldn't just randomly throw that out there. Now let's talk about the potential matchups. I reckon O'Malley versus Topuria is on the horizon, and Sandhagen might be facing Merab. As for Vera, well, his stock may have dropped a bit after this fight, but he's still respected as a tough fighter. However, tonight, he got embarrassed, plain and simple. And let's not forget Vera's first win over O'Malley. Total fluke. But let's get back to O'Malley's performance. It was insane. He was scoring Vera with some of the nastiest combinations we've ever seen. From jabs to body shots to spinning back kicks, O'Malley was in a league of his own. Even with a broken foot from kicking Vera's tough bones, O'Malley kept pushing forward, headhunting for the finish. And here's the thing, O'Malley's not just a great striker. He's fast, accurate, and he's got heart. He took some shots from Vera, but he never backed down. He may have made some mistakes, like chasing the KO and headhunting, but against anyone other than Vera, those might have been the right moves. So what's next? Well, if O'Malley has his way, he'll be facing Topuria in Spain. And you know what? I'm looking forward to it. It's no longer about being brave or cool to move up in weight classes for super fights. It's about getting a shot at another belt. And that's exactly what O'Malley is gunning for. In conclusion, O'Malley's performance tonight was nothing short of spectacular. He dominated Vera from start to finish, and there's no denying his skill and talent. So here's to whatever comes next for O'Malley, whether it's Topuria in Spain or another epic showdown. Cheers to the Western strikers who make this sport so exciting. See you later, folks.